Welcome back. Here we are in Photoshop. I created a blank document and I had copied or I'd selected a part of a building and I copied and pasted it onto my blank piece of paper. You all are pretty familiar with this by now. I have my background virtual piece of paper. I have the first layer where I have selected it, copied and pasted it onto here. All good. While this is selected, I can either do Command T or come down here to the bottom and this kind of wacky looking square, which stands for transform tool, I can choose, and then I get my bounding boxes and I can transform this however I like, whatever size. We're all good with that. Now, as per usual, this is a picture that I found on Pexels.com and downloaded free and then cut out the buildings. I thought it was kind of cool looking. I'm coming over here to my move tool. I think I want to move that just a little bit more over so it's a little more centered. Now, fascinating, right? So, I had also downloaded from Pexels a beautiful sky. Again, always you can use your own work. I am going to edit, copy, come back over to my piece, and I'm going to paste. Pretty much we all know this at this point. The bounding boxes are there, so I am going to make it just a little bigger so it covers where the building is. You'll see what I'm about to do. Now, remember, I can change where my layers are. If I wanted that just to be, the background of the sky, I could do that. Then obviously transform that layer to make it larger. But that's not what I'm doing. Let's start to talk about blending the layers. I've talked about opacity. Whatever layer selected, as you change the opacity, right, you can see through. We got that. Now I want you to come over to the layers. The blending options. I did indeed talk to you a little bit about this before to start playing with them. Now there's a lot of them, as you can see. For this short video, I just want to show you when you choose certain ones, and you can go down the list, it will be contained within that other layer, right? So it looks like basically it's just inside the layer. Overlay, soft light. Of course, they all have different effects, but I thought that was kind of cool, right? So it looks like the clouds are in the building, and then I can just do that. Pretty simple, right? But kind of cool looking. So again, I had 2 layers and I have to have one selected. And then I have this whole list of different ways they blend together. I know some of you have already played with this, but I just wanted to show you a different way to do it. This way it kind of looks psychedelic. I could also do that, right? And that I then would be potentially my final image or whatever else I wanted to add. So that's one little thing. Another thing I wanted to show you that I started to work with. I'm going to do Command minus to make it smaller. What I want you to see over here is I will go back, start at the very beginning with my history tool, right? I had found multiple buildings from all over the world, again on Pexels.com, copied and pasted, right, them onto my piece of paper, my virtual piece of paper. All of this I think you got. What I did indeed play with these was changing the opacity, like we talked about down here on the right hand side, and changing the layer order and seeing which came forward, right? And then changing how they're blended, which is what I just showed you in the other example. I tried something there. I didn't like it. That's one of my photographs. I sure didn't like it, so I got rid of it. But it's good to play. I'm just going through, if you notice over here on the history, I'm just going through literally the steps that I took. So this is the kind of thing to also play with Photoshop. And I know that for the most part, the compositing that you've done has been taking one or two objects, selecting them, basically cutting them out, right? Cutting them out and pasting them onto another image, which is great. To continue in this idea, continue in this fashion, I would love for you to do, these to me are more like, almost like more traditional collages like you would do as a kid, right? Depending on how you did that, because these have even more parts. So something else to think about to try on in class on next Tuesday. Again, I tried different backgrounds. I didn't like it. I'm just going through. But anyway, this is what I wanted to show you, another quick thing. So this was the first thing that I showed you where I blended the two layers together, right? The one I ended up choosing was color, just a sort of simple, quick thing that you can do. This was the second little project I wanted to show you. Again, you can look over here and see all the layers that I have, because every time I copied and pasted, it gave me a layer. I accidentally selected the text thing, which I do not want, so I'm going to grab that and trash that baby. Same with my picture that I didn't like of my wildflowers. Same with the clouds, just to clean up my project. And I think that looks pretty cool. I'm not done with it. I maybe would do it all around. And what I'll do, just really quickly, I am going to show you one quick step of that. I know for some of you this is very repetitive, but some people have not done this at all. So I'm going to go to my downloads. I am going to choose, let's see, one of my buildings. Let's try this one. We're going to hit open. Looks pretty cool. Just as a reminder, a couple different ways that you can select things. Down here at the bottom, I can hit select subject, and it does a pretty good job, right? You can see what it selected, all of the buildings. I'm going to hit Command Z to take a step back. I can come over to my toolbar on the left-hand side. I can go to Object Select, and you'll notice, right? Photoshop sort of automatically assumes. Notice that I can add to it if I want just that or I want all of that. I can also come up here to select select subject. Lots of different ways. While we're here, while things are selected, you can indeed come in the upper left-hand side. The two boxes, you can add a selection. The box with one boxing missing, right? You can take away from the selection, subtract from it. All of y'all know that. We can also come into select and mask. This is our place where we can refine it. You've all dealt with that. I'm going to hit cancel. But I think I want just this one building. Right, so let's take away that guy and that part. Oh, I messed that up. Sorry. I think because this is so connected. You see this little building down here? I'm going to go to select and mask. And I'm going to come over to my left. And I am going to, make that a slightly larger brush, right? All of y'all did this on Tuesday. And I'm going to make that a little larger. Things to remember. You can change the size of the brush. You can change if you're adding or subtracting. Let's see, I'm going to just do this so I'm not going to bore you with this video. Right, I'm also going to, right, we want that to be part of our selection. So, okay, much better. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to keep it its output to selection, hit OK. I think pretty much all of you guys know all this, right? But I just wanted to show you really quickly. So now that my marching ants are there, I'm going to command minus that, and I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to copy, and I'm coming back to, I've already labeled it building 1. You notice one of them's already there, right? You see that. But I'm going to just show y'all really quickly. Paste. It's kind of like a giant building. I like that. Like a monster building. I don't know if I want him here, maybe. For now, we're going to do that. I'm going to hit return. When I come over to my layers. Now, it pasted just above the background. You can see the numbers. As you're doing things like this, if you do a bunch of them, of course you can rename them. But when you're doing like multiple buildings or the same images, it's for me at least, it can be helpful just to have it as numbers while I'm figuring it out because I know which order I copied and pasted them. But y'all all know this, right? Where I place it will affect what it looks like. So you can kind of see, I'm going to go ahead and put it on top. And just to show you another thing, right? Another way you can blend. Because of the white background, you want to be thoughtful about this, right? Because with the other one I showed you, it was like it was a double exposure almost, right? It was contained within one of the layers. That's how you see it there, right? You see how it's contained right within there. But for my purposes, that's not what I want. I want it to show up. So I'm not sure what I would want here. Oh, that's kind of strange looking. I'm going to try that because I like the brown. But I'm going to put it behind a couple of others. Whoopsie. Anyway, I'm just showing you that. I thought that was kind of cool and it looks very graphic. I think that's it for this particular video. Thanks.